is, as we've already seen in our conversation, I highly value the power of the collective. I think we're intrinsically built to, as soon as we develop an I, let go of that I and become part of the we. And exactly. And that we can't, it's just impossible to achieve anything in life on our own. Just it doesn't work. We're not, whether we want to acknowledge that or not is a different reality. You know, there are billionaires that'll be like, I made it on my own. But all of the workers that they had in the Philippines that built their product, or all of the developers in India that they don't want to recognize as human, whatever it might be, we don't do things on our own in life. We do things with people. And with that in mind, I was also aware that we're moving to, you're sat in your house on your own. I mean, your family are around. I'm sat in my apartment, in my room, on my own. I have a friend that I live with, but there is a movement, and I don't think it's just COVID. I think that there is a weird movement, and I'm curious what you've seen in the sources around this, that in this time in creation that we're in right now, that in this, I always like to say that the last 100 years are so crazy, that so much has changed in humanity in such a short period of time, that I like to say, like, we were in the I generation 10 years ago, 50, whenever the iPhone came out. You know, we're on the iPhone 11 now, so that probably means 12 years ago, the first, there was a time, the iPhone, the iMac, the iPod, which was a really strong time, and we're becoming more embedded in that I in a certain way. You know, there's a movement into the I, even on a deeper level now. It's not just our technology. There's even deeper senses of I, and I think we see that with the social media generation, and that I being isolated, or as much as anything, that our connection is through TikTok or Instagram, and at the same time, there's also this we layer that's being created. So we've got both of them happening. There's like a movement towards a stronger I and a movement towards we, and I'm just I love things that on the surface look like they're contradictory, but there's a power to both, and they're both important muscles for us to develop. You know, it's important for us to have a strong sense of self. It's not something that we run away from. We have to use that sense of self in a healthy way in this world, but we don't want to suppress who we are. You know, that's the most unhealthy way to be, is to, and in particular, and in lots of ways, there are things that I'm a fan of, that we're learning how to connect to parts of ourselves that are shadows, and that mental health becomes more into the public arena, and anxiety is more publicly talked about, and that we're safer coming into the shadow sides of ourselves. And at the same time, you can't do it without developing a healthy we, because if you do it like that, then there's no coherence across the collective field. There's no humanity, and that's why we need halacha, and that's why we need frameworks, and that's why we need structure to support all of those processes.